Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, E-Copy with Experts. This is Ranmay here, your host for today's episode. And today we have Clayton, who is the CEO of Digital Space Marketing with us. Hey, Clayton.
Hey there. Thank you, Ranmay.
Lovely. Clayton, before we move any forward and pick your brains on SEO and your expertise, why don't you talk us through your journey thus far, how you landed up in digital marketing, and then also a bit about your book, Blast Off, and then we can take it forward from there on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started my first company as an entrepreneur back probably when I was 14 years young. I'm 35 years young now. But then a buddy and I started these lacrosse camps around town. And so that was my first experience as an entrepreneur and really as boots on the ground type marketing. We did at that time, although I was taking web development classes and taking as many tech related classes at the high school that I went to as possible, I did not have a super strong background in website development. So at the time, we would just post flyers around our local town and get kids to sign up for the lacrosse camps. And then from there, I journeyed to university or college and I bought an ice company. And so I'm not sure if you've ever been to a party with a big ice block, but I used to sell ice blocks to parties to where when people would show up, they would pour liquor from the top of it and it would come down and they'd open their mouth at the very bottom of it. So on weekends and Friday and Saturday nights, I would drive around or employees would go around and deliver ice blocks to these parties. And the margins on frozen water were very good. From there, I left the university and went and took about a year off and was working at a law firm doing some mass tort stuff, which are just mass class action type offenses to another human. And from there, went and got a law degree. So during law school, I really wanted to use my law degree for business. As you probably know, I'm sure you read a lot of business books. Business as an entrepreneur is something we all study, but not a lot of people
Right.
go back and read case law. They're not going to open up a law book and start understanding the nuances of laws inside the United States or whichever country they're from. And I figured that would be a good opportunity to force me to really start understanding contract law, start understanding different areas of law that are going to help me as an entrepreneur. Even through law school, I always wanted to use the degree for business, but not necessarily practice. After law school, I got involved with the venture capital group and we were working on a project and we needed to build a website for that project. So I dug into my tool set and pulled out what I had learned from high school and college about web development, hopped back on YouTube, built out a WordPress site. And then from there, actually, friends and family said, wow, you just built this website. Can you build us one too? And at that same time, I was building a domain called finitylaw.com. It was a law firm that I created back in 27 to focus on business law, estate planning, and probate. And so currently there's attorneys who work there who take the cases and I just handle all the marketing. But once friends and family really started having me build websites, they
Mhm.
wrote the first check and I needed to create an LLC. So that's when I launched digital space marketing. And I wanted to really focus on the reoccurring revenue, the continuously adding value aspect of digital marketing. I liked the project based approach to web development. And I think the foundation of any digital strategy is the website. So it's very important, the vehicle that we get in for this entrepreneur race, right?
Mhm.
But once the website launched, I really wanted to get into the strategy of SEO, of YouTube ads, of retargeting campaigns, of email drip campaigns. And so that's where
Mhm.
I put a lot of focus and energy into those systems and processes, and then building a team out for each individual vertical. And those team members specialize now in those verticals. And digital space marketing was launched in 2018 and now it's 2024 now. And so we're off to the races.
Lovely, quite a journey. Clayton, marketing in healthcare industry presents its own unique challenges, not that every industry has their own. So what are some of the specific challenges you have encountered when promoting cataract surgery services in particular, and then how at digital space marketing you feel that your strategies are unique and it has, let's say, worked in some cases wherein you have seen substantial growth for any of your clients.
Yeah. So there's a few things there. One, inside the United States, cataract surgery is the number one elective surgery procedure. As we, everybody's familiar, a lot of people are familiar with the baby boomer generation. If you live long enough, you will get cataracts, right? And so as the baby boomer generation starts to age, they're going to be getting a lot more cataracts and having cataract surgery. Now, technology's come a long way. And since we're at the bottom of this mountain that's growing, this elective surgery procedure is only going to grow. So what we found at digital space marketing is being able to use the internet and content marketing to get in front of these audiences of ages 55 and above on social media or Google or LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever they are on the internet. And then connecting them to a premium surgeon is really the value add to the marketplace that we bring. And so we actually manage and run a website called bestcataractsurgeons.com. And if you look at the rankings for that, last year we had around 95 top 10 keywords organically. In a 12-month period, we're at 600 top 10 keywords with over 5,000 getting indexed. So my agency is currently managing the largest cataract related website on the internet. And so this provides information on the different types of lenses. It provides information of things they should ask doctors. And it's a patient facing platform, bestcataractsurgeons.com, where people are going to try to find a surgeon. They're Googling things around the internet, as you're familiar with the SEO space. So all of our content marketing strategies are based on what people are searching for and then providing them the content. What we've done at bestcataractsurgeons.com is we've brought actual cataract surgeons, some of the top ones in the country, into that company to be on the board and to be on the editorial, which the editorial board is actually the ones writing the content, reviewing the content before it goes on the website. So this is actually cataract surgeon created content for patients, telling them what they need to know. And our philosophy, I use this analogy a lot because I always say not all websites are created equally. And so I'll use it here too. Not all cataract surgeons are created equally. So some cataract surgeons aren't using modern technology. They're not, as there's a lot out there that we can do with the eyes and advances in technology to really provide the patients with the best outcome possible. So we really try to focus on getting these patients into premium surgeons. And so I think with digital space marketing, managing all of this content, all of the leads that websites generating, we're having a lot of conversations, one, with a lot of surgeons. Additionally, we're managing all the ad spend for that website. So we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on paid ads. And so we have data rolling through our agency that we have access to, that we're learning from in order to leverage to really understand that target audience of 55 plus who are looking for not just cataract surgery, but who are looking for premium cataract surgery and looking not just to spend $2,000 to $3,000 per eye, but they want the best lenses. This baby boomer generation, they've been working hard their entire lives. They've been aging. They want to be able to see the golf ball. They want to be able to see their grandkids. They want to go to the beach and have perfect vision. And part of that strategy is understanding the target audience, understanding where they are, and being able to leverage multiple different avenues of them coming through the internet from different sources in order to get our surgeons that we advertise for and the practices that we advertise for in front of them to convert into a paid patient.
Lovely. And then what, according to you, what makes the target audience of cataract surgeons, unique compared to other medical specialities which are there?
Yeah. So I like this space. I fell into it. We were doing a bunch of clinical research marketing before and still do, and got a few LASIK refractive practices as well as cataract surgeons. And we're advertising for their practice, and they're still clients today. But what's interesting about this space is it's truly like transformational. One, it's a highly elective surgery. So people are coming out of pocket to pay. So the surgeons have the ability to spend money on marketing, which is always good, right?
Yeah.
We are a for-profit business. And so that's a big driver of, can customers afford the surgery? Can the surgeons afford to pay us? And it's truly transformational though. You're giving people eyesight. Everyone, if you live long enough, is going to have a cataract and they're going to have to get their eyes fixed. So it's really amazing to see this transformation of what people's lives are like and the lives of their loved ones before they have cataract surgery versus after they have cataract surgery, because it's literally vision. It's how we see the world. It's the lens
Right.
literally of how we view the entire world. So when you can transform someone, when we talk about emotional marketing, for instance, from the before state of what is their life like before cataract surgery and what is it like after, it's something, a product and service, because it's a combination of both. It's surgery and products being put in the eyes, but it's really something you can market around. And it's a great thing. You're helping people's lives. It's very emotional, as emotions sell. And so I've found it, one, rewarding, and two, just an area that digital advertising and our expertise in different digital verticals really can be leveraged to get practices new patients and help patients with their vision.
Lovely. And then talking about medical information, we have so much of it online. So there is so much of information available for as an end consumer to consume that kind of content online. So how do you ensure that your client cut through the noise and stand out to patients who are seeking reliable information online?
Yeah. So it's definitely tough. I remember seeing statistics a while back from the 50s or 60s, 70s of you need to get an ad in front of someone 4 times for it to be effective. Now I've heard up to 12 to 15. You're young, you're on social media probably. It's it's tough to cut through the noise. And so I think that's where a combination of multiple things. I don't believe in just one channel unless that channel is extremely successful and you have a big audience on that single channel. I believe in a multi-channel approach with
Mhm.
heavy targeting. So typically, I think it drives the differentiator between a successful practice in their marketing campaign and a non-successful practice is how they leverage those channels and how they put all the pieces together. Are they using heavy retargeting specifically for each niche procedure, or do they have just general retargeting ads? So if someone, for instance, comes in at a top of the funnel ad for cataract surgery or LASIK surgery, if they hop back on social media, do they see specific lens options for cataract surgery? Now they're further down the funnel or further in the customer journey with the practice. So we could start targeting them with very specific content to help them take the next steps while they're still in that discovery phase of trying to figure out who they want to work with or get information on this particular procedure. Oftentimes, I see a lot of practices, sure, they're using top of the funnel ads, they're using Google ads, they're using Bing ads, but they're doing general retargeting campaigns, if anything. Oftentimes, and you've probably seen it a lot, oftentimes the practices don't even have retargeting pixels. So they don't even have the ability to retarget. But then if they do, they have these general, hey, here's Dr. Patterson's practice over here. Come schedule your appointment today. We already know they've been to the website. They're interested in cataract surgery. Why not feed them more information on, hey, here's the type of lenses offered. Here's the top 5 things you should ask your cataract surgeon. here's a cataract surgery testimonial that's user generated content of from start to finish, the experience and back to the transformation that this person has had by interacting with our product and service. So that's where I think leveraging this multi-channel approach, when the person hops back on YouTube, they're seeing that type of content. When they hop on Instagram, they're seeing that type of content. Maybe they hop back on Facebook or Instagram, and the surgeon is a best cataract surgeon member. So that brand now is being leveraged out in the marketplace to say, hey, we know that you're a high premium surgeon because your peers have nominated you to be a member of this specific organization. And when I talk about the two brands being able to market themselves, I've seen it really successful because I think, including myself, it's easy for us to say we're the best, right? Like we're the best digital marketing agency ever. So you, right? But when a third
Right.
party says it and you can leverage that third party, there's no better referral source than that. So I think that is a big differentiator. And then when it comes to first party data, being able to warm audiences up, oftentimes we see too many call to actions of schedule your consultation today, book an appointment today. They're not ready. They're just building the relationship. So using and
Right.
leveraging content marketing to begin that relationship is really key. Getting the emails, nurturing those leads, creating lookalike audiences. And then when you go through the legal side of all of this, of course, there's the terms and conditions and privacy policy, making sure legally that you are allowed to collect this data. Make sure you are informing the consumers and the potential patients that you are tracking cookies or tracking IP addresses or doing server-based track. Whenever you're doing on the site, making sure you're legally covered, right?
Absolutely. And then when it comes to medical industry in particular, what do you suggest in general, SEO versus PPC? What is your take on it pertinent to medical industry?
Yeah. So that's a loaded question, but I think it's a combination. Google and Bing are awesome and top of the funnel search ads because literally there's people searching, right? So I think they
Yeah.
have a place. And why would you not want to get in front of them? But also, I personally love organic traffic. I think if a website, and we discussed it before the podcast, I think if a website's structured correct, and this is the vehicle that we're getting in the race, then it should, when we pull it up into the racetrack and get in this race with other people in it, it should win the race, right? If the vehicle is not structured correctly and the technical SEO is butchered, that's never going to win the race. Ever. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much content you upload to the site. It doesn't matter how many backlinks you send. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
And
matter. Yeah.
so I think I love SEO, but then if obviously the internet and Google is changing very fast, but if you're using search ads and you have SEO and it's a local company, if we're talking about a specific cataract practice or something like that, if it's a local business with multiple locations, why not use a combination of all of them? And in the first 10 positions of Google, since it's no longer pages with the infinite scroll, like why not have a paid ad? You're in the maps listing. They scroll below, you're in the organic section. You have other search features, search engine result features. You have those as well. And so I think the more exposure you have in those positions when people are searching for any type of business, right? The better chances you have of them landing on your website. And then that's for your other marketing systems, maybe email, IP scraping, maybe retargeting, et cetera, comes into play. So I know that doesn't really answer your question. And I guess if I had to put my money on one thing, I will probably put it on SEO because you're adding like long-term value. Obviously, people trust organic rankings more than paid rankings. But the good thing is I don't have to make that choice be- because we can use both. And that's what's nice. And I think too, it depends on the strategy. I think it goes back to the goals of the practice. And I have this conversation with business acquisition buyers and sellers all the time of, are you going to sell your business in 3 years? If so, maybe don't rely on a completely long-term SEO strategy. Maybe just
True.
use ads to and put your money into that to generate quick revenue if you're going to
Mhm.
sell it at bucks. If you're wanting, for me, I'm 35 years young, as mentioned, I'm not planning on selling my businesses anytime soon. And so I'm really focused on long-term SEO strategy because if you can get to those first 10 positions, then it's just leads constantly coming in and you don't have to spend money on it. Yes, you spent money to get there through content production, backlink building, technical SEO, and developer time into those areas. But once you're there, it's easy to maintain those positions, assuming you're doing it the right way, assuming it's not in a spammy way, and assuming the internet, which these assumptions, this assumption probably isn't correct, assuming the internet stays stable, right? And Google's algorithm doesn't continue to update, which it will, but as long as you're doing it to add value across sites, you shouldn't get flagged and your site should rank really well. And of course, you can see some of that in metrics like authority score or domain authority, depending on what tools you're using to make sure that your site is being trusted online.
Absolutely. And a final one before we wrap this up, Clayton. What is your take on AI and machine learning in general? It has been almost like a year since ChatGPT happened, right? More than a year now. But yeah, where do you think are we heading with all this artificial intelligence kicking in?
I'm very excited. I think for the people, a tidal wave is coming and has already started. The earthquake has already happened out in the sea and the tidal wave's coming. Some people, maybe you, maybe me, maybe we're making surfboards, right? And we're going to surf this
Right.
tidal wave. Others are not. Others are sitting by doing nothing. And so I think it presents a lot of opportunity. I think one, to zoom in on what it's doing to the digital marketing world, I think it's automating a lot of tasks. And obviously it's very good at
Sure.
aggregating large amounts of data and being able to sift through that. It's amazing for these large language models are amazing for taking a lot of information, consolidating it, pulling patterns out of it or building strategy around some of the data. But then also clearly content is, we can produce a lot of content fast. And so I think algorithms of search engines like Google have already updated accordingly. I think things like technical SEO, backend security, page speed, backlink building, and authority score are going to be weighed and are already being weighed much heavier than highly structured, volume driven content, right? We're way past the days of just producing 100 blog articles and being able to rank for things. Now,
Yeah.
I don't think, I still believe in content cluster strategies, especially when you combine that with technical SEO, which should always be there, and backlink building. So I think content's still relative, but I think this AI has changed that SEO strategy approach. But when it comes to looking where information's coming from, analyzing analytics, drafting copy for messaging, split testing images, and being able to make better decisions by analyzing data, those are positive things that artificial intelligence and some of these large language models are significantly contributing to, which is really exciting. And I think I need to say it appropriately, but I think it's a tool. And I think just like a hammer,
Mhm.
someone can take their hammer and hit certain body parts or hit their foot with it. And it's not a very effective tool, right? But if you use the
Sure.
hammer for what it's made for and use other specific tools for what they're made for, you could build a house and you could build something very successful. And so I think right now, clearly there's companies and entrepreneurs out there building services around this, which is really exciting. And then I think there's a lot of people on the sidelines, and I'm in both boxes right now, but I think we're also waiting for where this is going to go and trying to understand it as much as we can to figure out what we could do it. I don't think with AI, we're even aware of its capabilities and where this is all going to go. there's a few people at the forefront of it, and then a lot of people are behind the scenes working, and some people are familiar with it. But most of the world is probably not using ChatGPT and
Yep.
understanding it. So for the people who are blessed, like you and I, to sit in an office that has air conditioning and be able to be on good computers, we're blessed with the ability to have that luxury to be able to play with AI, let alone build products and services around it. I think it's super exciting, and I feel very blessed to be in a digital marketing agency, be involved in the venture capital space, be the author of this book, and be able to leverage AI to maximize the exposure for all of this in the marketplace to increase influence and help other businesses.
Lovely, lovely, Clayton. But yeah, before I let you go, I'd love to play a quick rapid fire with you. I hope you're game for it.
I'm ready.
All right. Your last Google search.
I think it was to spell check something.
Okay. Your celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush. Ooh, probably Megan Fox. I like her.
All right. Let's say if we were to make a movie on you, Clayton, what genre would it be?
Mm. I love backcountry snowboarding. So if I had to make a movie about myself and I could star in it, it would be something like that with snowboarding or some action adventure movie.
Okay. Lovely. All right. The last one. Yeah, I'll not give you any further. Do you remember what you do with your first paycheck of your life?
It was probably when I was 14 with my lacrosse camps, and I probably bought some lacrosse equipment with it or bought some speakers for my car that I was getting when I was 15.
Okay. Lovely. Great, Clayton. It has been a pleasure speaking with you. And thank you so much for taking our time and doing this with us here.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you. And if anyone's interested, books blast off what
Yeah.
executives should know about digital marketing. I only think there's a few things. They don't need to learn how to build Facebook ads or anything like that. They need to understand how to hold people like us accountable. And so from A to Z, that book really lays out what they need to know. So it's available on Amazon, and my personal website's claytonpatterson.com. So feel free to message me there or look at anything I'm into. All right. Thank you.